Okay, we are live. If you're watching this on a replay, give it about 30 seconds, 45 seconds to catch up, because we're going to let some people hop on before we go here. This is the Flip King CEO Show, and we are live on Instagram, Periscope, Facebook. Keep the hearts coming, keep the likes coming. Make sure you subscribe if you're on any of the channels so you can get live updates. And we are going to kick it off here shortly. I'm with my main girl, Heather Morris, my first employee. I can't say my favorite employee because a lot of people get pissed off if I say that.
It's
so
okay.
I absolutely cannot say that. But my first employee, the one, my ride or die, she's been with me from the start. So
yes.
She's here taking notes, listening for your questions, so I can try to give you some feedback while we're going. For those of you that are listening on iTunes and listening to the replay, we shoot this recording live, so we're going to take some interactive questions here and there. We're going to make sure that we try to interact with our followers and make sure we ask them some questions live if possible, all right? So today I want to get right into it. Today we are talking about the pain of being self-employed. Now, who does this affect? This is people that are self-employed, small business owners, salespeople on a 1099, right? Anybody who's running a business, who's got that business going, right? In a scale where they want to get bigger, they want to grow. And what are the pain points? How do we solve them? And how to make your life better? How to make it more efficient? How to get you to the next level, right? So here's the fact, guys. The stats in America are overwhelming. Now, I Googled this. I did the research. I went back. I'm not a Harvard MBA or any of those kind of things, but here's the thing. You're going to get all kinds of stats all over the place. You're going to get the stats that say that small businesses fail 75% of the time in the first 2 years, and then you got some people that debunk that. Let's forget about the actual stats and let's just focus on the facts. People are failing in small business, right? Small businesses are failing in America. It's hard to make it in small business. And the fact is that a lot of people try to become entrepreneurs, try to go out there and make it, which is amazing, right? Which is what we want to accomplish. We want to see people go out, start businesses, hire employees, have jobs for other people's families, right? Grow, get better, get bigger, right? That's what we want to see happen. And that's why I'm here doing this podcast for you to add value so you can go out there and feed more families and grow your local community and grow regionally and hopefully nationally at one point, right? So the reason that we're doing this podcast is to see less of that small business failure, right? So how do we avoid the failures, avoid the pitfalls, get people to the next level, right? So forget about what the stat is. The fact is there are people failing. The fact is there are small businesses out there that are having struggles. So let's talk about those struggles and let's talk about why it is that they're struggling. Let's talk about what the challenges are, the pain. What is the pain of being a small business, right? Now, I know there's a lot of small business owners out there right now that are watching me live, that are going to listen to this later on. They're going to say, I own a small business. There's no pain. I love it, right? Kick back in their chair like this. I love my small business. Hey, if that's you, congrats. We're going to talk about you in a couple minutes, right? There's some people that are watching this because they found me organically. They were friends on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, what have you, right? And they're watching this because they need help, because they have some pain. And they say, Joe, I know I have pain. I know you're going to talk about my pain today, and we're going to look for some solutions for their pain, right? Both of you are welcome to watch, right? I'm going to say some shit that's going to offend some people today. That's cool. I'm going to say some stuff that's going to make you happy. That's cool too. I want you to take some notes. I want you to grab a notepad. I want you to grab a pen. This is going to take about 45 minutes, half hour, right? If you're not in for the long haul, that's cool too. You can watch the replay later on. You can listen it to iTunes later on, and you can grab some notes. What's up, Denise? Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Those of you that are watching right now, I appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and if you hit that share button so we can get some more live viewers on here, get those questions rolling, and we can get right into it. All right, so why do small businesses fail, right? Why do small businesses fail in America? First and foremost, people were not educated on business, right? So most small businesses are what? They're people that learn how to become really good bakers. They go out and they open a bakery, right? They learn how to become chiropractors, so they go open their own chiropractic practice, right? They get good at insurance sales, so they turn around and they open an insurance sales office, right? Or real estate agents get good at being real estate. They go get their broker's license. Next thing you know, they open a brokerage, right? So small businesses comes from someone who's really good at a practice and then turns around and implements it and turns it into a business, right? So what's the challenge with that? Well, the challenge is no one ever teaches you how to become a business owner. No one ever teaches you how to run the business end of the business, right? You might be an awesome salesperson, right? You might be awesome at baking cakes. You might be awesome at selling people on, insurance products. You might be creating great value in your industry at what you do, at whatever level you do it, right? But when it comes to turning around and implementing that into a business practice, into growing it into something else, into hiring people and having them follow you and having them do it, leadership, business owner status, writing big checks, making all that stuff happen, that's a whole different practice, right? It's a whole different philosophy, right? So people aren't getting the mentorship and the coaching that they need. Again, that's one of the reasons we're having the pain that we're having, right? So we're not educated and we're not mentored, we're not coached. And why aren't we doing that? Well, first and foremost, we're not investing in ourselves, right? So what happens is we start a business and we invest in everything else except for this, right? What's between our head. Now, those of you that are watching right now, it's amazing because what you're doing is you're investing in this, right? You're paying attention so that you can add value back to your business. You're paying attention because the things that I'm going to tell you, hopefully, you take practice and you put back into your business, right? Because you're actually exercising this as a small business owner, right? A lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people aren't taking the time to step back from their business and actually educate themselves on how to run a business and how to grow a business, right? So, what are they investing in? They're investing in marketing. They're investing in SEO. They're buying brochures. They're buying letters. They're buying business cards. They got the nicest letterhead money can buy, right? They got these wild websites, right? They're buying furniture for their office. They're fitting out practices. They're fitting out things. They're spending money on businesses that they don't even know are viable businesses, right? In other words, they haven't made money in the business yet, right? So they don't even know if the business is viable, but yet they're taking their hard-earned cash, they're taking their savings, maybe they're taking borrowed money. What's up, Obi? Thanks for joining us. What's up, Mom? Thanks for joining us, right? They're taking hard-earned money, they're investing it back into their business, into their new business that hasn't even been a proven model yet, right? And they're investing in all the stuff that they think is flashy. And they're doing that because why? Because everyone else has done it before, right? Because that's what they were taught by watching others, not because they were taught by a mentor or a coach or someone who's done it before and done the practice and actually been successful at something, right? Because they're doing it because they've seen someone else do it. They're doing it because someone handed them a really flashy business card and said, I do this. And they're like, wow, that business card's badass. I need some of that. Where do I get that business card? Show me the website. I'm going to print some of those business cards, right? Heather, you've seen that before?
Yes, I have.
Some of those really awesome business cards.
Yeah,
I got stacks of those.
ones are
I got those awesome business cards stacked up on my desk somewhere. I don't know, maybe they're inside my desk. Anyway, you guys have seen them before, right? And you see the people that are out there, they have the fancy trucks that are all wrapped up. They got banner ads all over the place. They're Facebook all over the place, right? They're putting signs out in people's yards. They're putting signs up all over the place, right? Just Facebook wrapped everywhere, right? Colors and bright colors and, my name's all over the place, right? People that are out there spending money on their business, but they don't have a functional business yet, right? They're investing in all that flash and glitter, but they're not investing in themselves, right? That's what the most important piece is. First, investing in yourselves, and then the next piece, which I'm going to get to in a minute, right? So they're fitting out furniture, they're fitting out signs, they're paying for Facebook ads, they're paying for wrapping their trucks, right? But they're not investing in themselves. So folks, I'm here to tell you that when I first got into my real estate business, I invested $30,000 in myself and my own knowledge, right? Back in the day, this is talking, 10 years ago, before I even flipped my fourth property. Before I was into my fourth property, actually I had to go back and look into this because I've invested tons of money into myself over the course of the years. In fact, today, my company invests well over 6 figures a year into continued education, coaching, mentorships, programs. In fact, I'm getting ready to hop on a plane tomorrow to spend 2 days in Florida with a mentorship and a coach where I spent 10 grand for this week, right? For me and my COO to go down and spend 2 days in Florida so we can spend time educating and mentorship, training and growth mindset and all that kind of good stuff, right? This week, I'm doing it. So I practice what I preach while I'm on here telling you what to practice, right? So there's no conflict here. This is exactly what I'm trying to teach you how to do, the things that have helped me grow my business to where we're at today, right? And the fact is that there's people spending tens of thousands of dollars investing in their company. They're not investing in themselves. They're not investing in actually learning how to build the company, but they got flashy trucks running around on the road, right? So, why are you listening to this right now? Why are you on live right now? Why are you paying attention to what I'm saying right now, right? And why? And what's the benefit of it, right? Well, first of all, you might be paying attention because you're a good friend. You might be paying attention because organically that you've been following us for a while, and for that, I appreciate you, right? For that, I'm so grateful to have you guys in my life, because the real people, the real players that are paying attention are actually taking advantage of it. I get messages all the time. Joe, you said this. I implemented it. It was awesome. That's why I do what I do, right? It's bringing value to those that are actually implementing, those that are actually getting involved, those that are in my life on a day-to-day, week-to-week, those that are getting involved in the events, those that are getting involved in the coaching, those that are in my employ, right, that are in my business somehow. Maybe they work for me directly, maybe they're brokers, maybe they're salespeople on my team, right, or maybe they're doing coaching or mentorship with us, right, because they see the value in what we bring, so they're getting involved, right? Those people organically, you're going to be here no matter what I say, right, which is amazing, and I love you for that, right? Then there's the people that just say, well, what the hell is the pain of self-employment, right? I'm self-employed and I love it, right? So the challenge is this. If you have the pain, I'm going to help you solve it, right? If you don't have the pain, there's a couple challenges here. If you don't have the pain, or you're self-employed and you think you don't have the pain, there's a couple things that are going on. Number one, and I might say some things that are going to offend some people, that's okay. Number one, you could be lying to yourself, right? Every self-employed person goes through struggles. Folks, I went through a lot of struggles. I'm very honest about this. When I was building my business, I came close to being bankrupt a few times. When my first kid was born, I went through crying on the floor at night, wondering how I was going to pay my mortgage while I was starting to build my business, right? This is before I hired Heather, right? I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to get by. And I was making good money, right? But I was investing it back in all the wrong ways. I was doing all that shit that I just told you. Right? I was wearing fancy suits. I had flashy business cards. I had the website. I had paid leads going on, right? I had all that stuff that I thought was the right stuff, right? Because what people I saw were doing, who I thought were successful, I was just mirroring what they were doing, right? Because I was new. So I was trying to live my true life, my true self, my unique ability. But in the meantime, I was copying what other people were doing, and I was kind of living outside of my unique ability because I thought what they were doing was the way to success. So I was copying it, and I really wasn't investing enough into my education, my mentorship, my training. I was investing more into paying attention to what other people were doing. And that is the trapdoor to failure right there. It's paying attention to what other people were doing and not paying attention to what successful people were doing. Right? So how do you know they're successful? Well, again, the people that are on here that say I don't have any pain, listen, folks, this is fake book. Okay? Again, I hate to break it to you, but a lot of you people that are out there shining about checks they've made or shining about this is some new flip I did or new investment I did, they're having problems. They're having struggles. And I'm not here to out people on Facebook. That's not what I do. If those of you know me, I don't talk bad about hardly anybody unless they really deserve it, right? But there are a lot of people out there that are bragging about what they do, and then meantime they're messaging me and saying, Joe, I need help, I'm struggling, I'm failing, I don't know what I'm going to do, right? So pay attention to what's going on with very close goggles, guys. Because if you're not having pain, it could be your ego. It could be that you're just not admitting it to yourself. It could be that you're just a fraud, and that's fine. I'm not talking to any one particular person, right? But what happens is we have to get over that. At some point, we have to admit that I am having pain. I am having struggles, and I do need help, right? Because the pain is not going to go away on itself, right? You are not going to get past that pain until you admit it to somebody else that you need help, and you allow them to help you grow. Folks, we don't solve problems on our own, right? We are not capable of coming up with solutions on our own. I don't come up with solutions on my own. It's again the reason I'm getting ready to hop on a jet tomorrow and go to Florida. I still pay for solutions, even though I'm training solutions, because you have to look outside of your sphere sometimes. You have to get outside of your zone to look for solutions. Okay, so here we are. You're on there, right? What's up, Andrew? What's happening, right? You're here, you're paying attention, right? So how do we get past it? How do we get past it? How do we learn and grow? How do we figure out whether or not we're in that zone, that we're having pain, admit that we're having pain, and figure out the next... I apologize, the phone rang. I can't help that. So, Carrie, if you're listening, you're going to have to edit that piece out. All right, so how do we get past the pain where we know we have pain, and we know we have struggles, and we want to get to the next level, right? So if you're in that position right now, raise your hand. I forget to turn it off. If you're in that position right now, raise your hand and say, this is me. right? I need help with this right now. Or send me a PM right now. If you're in any one of these particular, I don't care if you're on Periscope, Instagram, Facebook Live, send me a PM. Say, Joe, this is something I'm having struggles with. I'm going to get into why. I'm going to get into some solutions in a second, right? And while I'm taking this quick break, do me a favor. I'm going to give away some cool shit today because this is my second podcast. We've announced it. We got some people on here. We got some interested parties. If you share it right now, share it with whatever platform you're on. Share it with your followers. Tell them to jump on. Make sure that this is something that they're going to add value to. I hope I'm adding value back to you guys right now. Make sure you add it back. By the way, I'm Italian, so I do this with my hands a lot. I apologize in advance, but this is going to happen. So, right? So make sure you share it with your followers. Here's the thing, guys. I want you to go on iTunes. I want you to give us a 5-star rating with notes. So 5-star rating. Tell us why you like the podcast. The podcast is going to change this week. Right now, it's called the FlipKing.com Real Estate Radio. You're going to find it that way. You find the Flip King, just search the Flip King. This week, it's going to change to the Flip King CEO, flipping your business, flipping your life. Okay? So if it hasn't changed yet, you're going to see the change this week. Do me a favor. Go on there, give us a 5-star rating, and write some notes on the rating, why you like our podcast. If you do that, and then you come back here, and in the comments, you post 5-star podcast. 5-star podcast, the words 5-star podcast. If you do those two things during one of our live presentations, we're going to send you some cool shit. Right? It's that simple. You want cool shit in the mail? That's how you do it. We'll reach out to you, we'll PM you, we'll get your information, and Amanda or someone from my office will send you cool shit. Right? So that's that easy. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes, share it on your whatever platform you're watching it on, and then make sure you post in here 5-star podcast in the comments. It can be now, it can be later. As long as it happens, we'll get the comment and we'll send you some cool shit. As long as you subscribe and give us a good review. All right, so we're past the point of pain, right? Can you hand me that drink, please? We're past the point of pain, okay? So, now we're past the point of pain. What happens? How do we get it? How do we get past the point of pain? So, fixing the point of pain starts with scale, right? So I call it scale, not scarcity. The challenge that a lot of us have is we're living in scarcity, right? Why do we spend money on the shit that we invest in our business instead of investing in ourselves? Well, the reason is scarcity, right? A lot of people will turn around and invest in marketing, production, leads, and all that stuff. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen along with investing in yourself, but it's equally as important to invest in yourself while you're investing in the other stuff, right? What kills me is when I say people investing tens of thousands of dollars in that kind of stuff, but they don't have $5,000 to go to an event that might change the trajectory of their life, right? People who claim to have million-dollar businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses, and have never invested $5,000 in themselves, right? Back when I was broke on my ass, on the balls of my ass, okay, I wrote a check for, or I'm sorry, I put on my credit card a $20,000 seminar coaching / whatever, right? I put it on my credit card because I was taking a risk on myself. Now, I'm not sitting here advising you to do that. That's not the point. If you can't afford it because you have to feed your kids or your family, or there's some serious hardship, somebody's sick in your family, I'm not sitting here and telling you to file bankruptcy so you can go get coaching, okay? However, if you know that getting involved in somewhere where you can get coaching and you can get mentorship and you can get training that's going to traject you from here to here, and you're living with mom or someone else in your family has a good job, and you know that you can put that thing on your credit card and you can make that thing happen, and you can take a gamble on yourself and you can take a risk that's going to pay off, do it. Meanwhile, you're spending $5,000, $10,000 on wrapping trucks, right? Think about that for a second. I'm talking a trade-off here. I'm not talking to the people that are too broke to do it. If you're too broke to do it, get out there and grind until you make some money. But if you're making money and you're not investing it back in yourself, it's your fault. Look in the mirror and wonder why you're having the problems you're having. Look in the mirror and wonder why you're having the pain that you're having every day, and wonder why you're struggling with what I call the real estate roller coaster, or the commission roller, the sales roller coaster, right? If you're up and you're down, you're up and you're down, and you can't keep cash flow right? Look in the mirror. You're not investing in yourself. You're not investing in people that can actually help you fix this problem. You just keep looking for solutions by creating more drama in your business, right? So look in the mirror, because that's what's keeping you held back. Your scarcity mindset is keeping you from scale. Your scarcity mindset is keeping you from growth, right? So that gets me into the second piece. So people want to make 6 figures a month, but they've never seen that kind of money. They've never touched that kind of money, right? They say they're making $1 million businesses, right? $1 million businesses are writing 6-figure checks, or at least close to that, each week, or every other week, or each month, right? So if you're capable of writing that kind of check, and you're capable of paying those kind of people, right? Whether they be subcontractors or health insurance or whatever business you're in. If you're in a big business like that and you're not investing in yourself, but you're able to invest in product, or you're able to invest in people, or you're able to invest in whatever your company invests in, right? And you're doing that, but you're not investing in this, your head, your brain, between your 2 ears, your person, right? Ask yourself why you're not successful, right? So that's scale. The scale comes with avoiding scarcity. So it's either scarcity or scale. You don't get one or the other. You're not going to scale with scarcity. You can't scale with scarcity. It's impossible, right? How are you going to grow when you're doing this the whole time, right? When you're holding on to every cent that you own, you're never going to get people to follow you. You're never going to get people to have vision, right? You're never going to have people that want to be part of a team when they know that you're not going to invest in them. You're not going to give them the resources they need. You're not going to give them the training they need. You're not going to give them the time that they need. You're not going to have the time because you're doing this all day long and you're working 150 hours a week. So how are you going to give back to them if you're doing this all day long? Right? How can you hold on to your cash, pay attention to every dime, never invest in your people, places, product, time? How can you do that? How can you make 6 figures a month or more if all you do is nickel and dime and pay attention to the little things, right? You have to start thinking about bigger decisions. You have to start thinking about bigger things in life. You have to start thinking about the next level. You have to start putting the decisions that you're making today in someone else's hands, right? We call that letting go of the vine. We call that giving away the issues, right? Take the issues and delegate. Delegate and elevate so you can get yourself up to the next level. These are the challenges that a lot of small businesses, business owners have. And the reason that they're staying where they're at or they're failing is because they refuse to scale. They refuse to grow and because they're stuck in scarcity. Right? Does that make sense to anybody? If it does, raise your hand. Say yes. Give me the hearts. Give me the thumbs up. Let me know I'm here. Let me know you guys can hear me. Right? So it's important, folks. It's important because I see so many folks in this rat race that have this high-paid job, right? There's a lot of people in sales, by the way, sales, small business, I don't care what you own, you can make money. In fact, if you're in this economy right now, and you're watching or listening, now it's 2017, the end of 2017, and I say that because people listen to these podcasts for years, right? So I don't have a crystal ball, I'm not going to predict anything here, but things are going to change, okay? We know that it's absolutely impossible that they're not, right? You're all making money right now because it's freaking easy, right? Let's just say it is what it is, right? If you're new in business and you've made money in the last couple years, it's because it's easy to make money right now, right? People with zero education, zero tolerance, have no idea about business, right, are making money right now. If you're in sales, you're making money. You don't have to learn how to sell. You don't have to learn how to practice scripts. You don't have to learn how to have a freaking schedule. You don't actually have to prospect, right? You don't actually have to do anything to sell anything because people have money and they're throwing it all around the place, right? People are throwing money around like it's a joke, right? They're just throwing it around the market because they're making it, so they're spending it. The stock market's at like 24,000 or something and change. I don't know. I don't pay attention. Excuse me. I don't pay attention to the stock market, but I know it's high, right? Somebody can correct me if it's higher or lower. I don't know. But the fact is it's easy right now. The economy's crazy right now. People have money. They're spending. The real estate market's hot. The investment market's hot. If you have cash, you're finding ways to invest it. You're making returns on it, right? If you're smart, you're making good plays, right? But the fact is it's easy. And scalability is easy. But if you're not scaling and you're not learning and you're not investing right now in yourself, shame on you. Because you have no better time than when it's easy. Do you know when it's impossible to invest in yourself? In 2007, when the market is getting ready to take a jump off a cliff, when I put my first $20,000 on my credit card, right? You got to take risks on yourself, folks. You got to take risks on yourself, knowing that the knowledge that you gain, you will put to action and pay off, right? So it's a mindset shift. I'm looking over my notes here for a second. I wrote, you have to be different. The person you are today has to be different than the person you want to become, right? Because the actions that you're making today are not the actions of the person you want to be, right? So if you're having pain in business today, or you're avoiding the fact that you're having pain, again, you might just be in Twilight Zone, right? But whatever pain you're having today, it's because of the actions that you take on the day-to-day, okay? The things you do today in business are the reason why you're having the pain. So you have to shift the mindset. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to be in the next place, right? Heather's seen it firsthand, right? Heather started as my first employee, what, 5 years ago now?
Yeah,
right.
Going on year 5.
5 years ago now,
yeah.
Right? Started as my first employee. Now we're over 20-something employees, 23 employees, I think, in the office, right? And she started as my first employee. That was a mindset shift for me because I wanted to be on an island. I wanted to be by myself, and I thought I didn't need anything, right? Then my mentor said, Joe, you're nuts. You can't do it this way. You can't do it by yourself, and here's why. He explained all that process. Now, that's an entirely different podcast show, and I'm going to get into that next week. But the people leverage, the people process, and the scalability. I'm going to give you a high-level look at why that's important right now, right? Why is scale important? Here's the process of scale, okay? It starts with people leverage, right? First you build the people, you start small, and then you build a team, right? First, a lot of your businesses, your small businesses, are going to start with one. They're going to start with one, and they're going to grow to something else, right? You always have to start with people leverage. And people think that hiring is difficult. They think that hiring is a challenge. They think that hiring is expensive. It's all those things if you think about it that way, and that's why your mindset has to shift, right? Investing in yourself is also investing in other people, and investing in other people is investing in yourself. And I'll tell you why. When you invest in other people, you start to leverage yourself. You start to leverage your own time. You start to leverage the ability to grow a team so that eventually that team becomes a real business. And when you own a real business, you have the ability to eventually walk away. So your people leverage eventually becomes a team. Culture, values are born behind that, right? And that's why people like to come to work. Now, if you need to get a little deeper into that, you can watch the last podcast. I got deep into why that was important. I'll get deeper into that in the future, right? Why values and culture matter, why people want to be part of a team, why they want to show up to work, why they come for a paycheck or a commission or whatever you offer, right? Why you want to build that vision so they want to come work for you and with you and grow with you, and they want to see that vision progress, and they want to help you grow it, right? Why are all those things important? We'll get into that, right? But what happens after you build a team and you hire the people? Next comes systems and processes, right? So many of you come to my events, single individual, we call them solopreneurs, right? You're a one-man show, you're running a business, right? Excuse me. You're doing it, one man or one woman, one show, you don't hire anybody, and you say, Joe, I need systems and processes to get it done. Folks, how in the hell do you have a system and a process by yourself? Your system and process is your schedule. You can't have a process, you can't have a system, because it's all you, right? You can take that out if you want. You can switch this if you want, right? How do you have a system and a process when you are the system and the process, right? You can't design anything around that, right? You can't be a system and a process when you are the system and the process. Does that make sense? So if that makes sense, we have to grow a team. If we want systems and processes, we need somebody to implement the systems and processes, right? So what happens is first you grow the team, and then you can start to delegate to the team the things you want done. That's how systems are created, and that's how processes are created. From those systems and processes, you start to build a machine. You start to build operations, and then you start to build automations. Okay? That's where you start to say to your team, I want things to happen automatically. I want this to happen automatically. I want that to happen automatically. And I want it to happen without my knowledge. I want it to happen without Heather's knowledge. I want Heather's team to do things on a weekly basis that she doesn't need to know about anymore because she's too big for that. Okay? Makes sense? I want her to grow so that her team's working for her. I don't want to know about what Heather's team's doing. I don't want Heather's to know about a lot of what her team's doing for her. Right? I want those systems and operations to be automatic. So that's the systems and processes piece. Okay? Then you start to build those funnels of money because the team is working. The next step is build business leverage. Okay? Once you do that once, now you have a business, or you start to have a business. You can start to grow ancillary businesses. Now, for example, in my business, now this is a new business podcast. We're not going to get really deep into real estate, but my background is real estate for those of you who've been watching the podcast or listening to the podcast. We now have multiple real estate ancillary businesses, okay? We do real estate flips. We do real estate rentals. We do real estate retail sales, and we do real estate wholesale, okay? These are all ancillary businesses built off of one model that started with retail sales and flips, right? That was it. 10 years ago, that's all we did. Now we have other practices that we can add to the business and that add on nicely to the existing businesses, right? So now you have ancillary businesses. And then the fourth level, and we'll get into this in all future podcasts, I'm kind of leading you guys in because if you find value in this and you think it's great, I want you to share it. I want you to tell other people about it because I want you to pay attention and listen so we can add value in the future to you guys in these same exact formats, right? The next level is investing, okay? Now you have multiple businesses. What do? Well, they're making you money. Those businesses make you money. What do you do with the money? Well, you can buy other businesses, right? You can buy out other competing businesses. You can invest your cash in competing businesses, or you can lend your money to other people in other businesses. You can do other things because you have the leverage, because you started with the number one, which is what? People, right? You as an island cannot do anything that I just said. You as the person in pain, as a solopreneur, as a self-employed individual, will never be able to do all those things I just said. Now, some of you are saying, Joe, I make so much money, I'm a salesperson, I'm killing it, I've made $100,000 and I saved it and I invested in another business. Congratulations. You are going to work your ass into the ground until you can't do it anymore. And guess what? God forbid you get hit by a bus on the way to work one day, your kids will have jack shit. Okay? I'm just telling you how it is. Because that's how it is, right? You'll have $100,000 invested in something making 10%, and your kids will have nothing, right? I'm trying to help you grow to a level where you'll have something worth something. You'll have a business that's saleable. You'll have a team that depends on you. You'll have a team that you can depend on, right? You'll have something that you can have in the future to sell. You'll have something that your team can have in the future that's valuable and equitable, right? You'll have a legacy. Because, folks, that is my why, and that is why I do what I do. It's legacy. My legacy used to be just my kids. I share this openly, right? For a lot of you, people say, what is your why, right? Why do you do what you do, right? Why is it so important? Because it's very important to figure out your why. For years, I said my kids, right? Well, guess what, guys? I love my kids. They're amazing. They're absolutely, my wife and my kids are the most important thing to me, right? But the truth is my kids are fine, right? If I die today, my kids are fine. They're taken care of, right? Of course, I don't want to die today, obviously. But what's more important is the legacy I build. And that includes my kids, right? The education, the value, the pieces that I add to the marketplace so that you, who are paying attention today, share this with people that maybe I've never even met. And one day they look back and go, Joe Evangelisti helped me build my business. He helped me put this piece in place. He gave me the motivation to get off my ass and go do something powerful with my life. I decided to go start my business. I decided to take a risk. I decided to scale and not be scarce. I decided to take that piece to the next level because of a few podcasts I listened to or a few videos I watched, and XYZ shared that with me. And then I get a message one day, 5 years from now, that says, I'm a multimillionaire because you took me from being a postal worker or a person at Walmart or, whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with those people. I'm not putting them down. But you took me out of the place that I didn't want to be and you put me into the self-employed, and then I grew to being a business owner, and now I have something that I can build a legacy off of, right? I don't just have a 401k, I have a business. And I have people, and I have a team, and I have a culture, and I have values that will last for me and my lifetime and my kids' lifetime and my great-grandkids' lifetime. Folks, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing what I do. And that's why I want to add that value to you. So, if you believe in that and you want to be part of that, please share the video. If you're watching and paying attention and you think that all the things I just talked about relate to you in a business sense, I'm going to be doing an event in January, the 3rd and the 4th. It's Wednesday, Thursday, January 3rd and 4th, kicking off 2018. We'll be doing it right here in Haddonfield, New Jersey. If you want to invest in yourself and your business and you want to get to the next level, send me a message. I want to help you grow. I sincerely want to add value to you. I want to see you be successful, right? That is why I do what I do. because I want to see you take your business to the next level. If you don't, and you can't, and you don't want to, that's fine. Keep listening. Keep paying attention. Keep listening to the podcast, and keep getting that motivation, because eventually you'll come around. Eventually it'll make sense. Eventually you'll have that aha moment that, holy shit, I need to get invested. I need to get involved because I am stuck in this rut. I'm stuck on this mouse wheel. It's not making sense for me anymore. The pain is too great. In fact, I had an investor, I had a young guy tell me a couple months ago, multi businesses, the whole thing. He says he's making money, $5,000 to come to an event, and he says to me, the pain is just not great enough yet, right? I want to let that sink in for a second, right? His response was, I'm making millions, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, right? I'm making millions, I have multi-million-dollar companies, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and the pain is not great enough to invest in myself. Folks, that is why I do what I do. And that is why I'm taking time out of my day to spend with you, to add value back, to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. I want to make sure you're not that guy. I want to make sure I take that guy and make his life easier. I want to give him time back. I want to give him his life back. I want to help him push through that silliness and into a place of abundance where he can actually be comfortable and actually spend time with his children and actually wake up and have a legacy to give to the people that work so hard for him one day, right? That's the guy that we want to help. That's the kind of person that needs to get to the next level, but it starts up here, right? So, again, folks, I appreciate you paying attention. I appreciate you listening. I hope you found great value in this episode. If you want to get involved, make sure you message me. You're watching this on all different platforms. You can PM me on any single one of them. Make sure you check out theflipking.com, our website. You'll see the podcast hosted. You'll see the messages hosted. You're going to see some free gifts hosted there. Losing my train of thought. Some PDFs actually going to be there on unlocking your true potential for those of you that register. So, have an awesome week. Kick ass. Take names. I'll check in with you live on Facebook and all these other mediums during the week while I'm down in Florida. I hope you guys have an awesome week. God bless America. Peace. Go ahead, you can end it.